Right, what are we doing here? Do I really need to do an intro for this bunch of idiots? I've already clicked on the video, the morons. What sort of clueless buffoons need me to introduce the fact I'm going to run through times WWE assumed 100% that they were thick as pig... Sorry, what? What do you mean we're already recording? Oh, bollocks. Ah, well, they'll never remember what I said about them. The fools. I'm Adam Wilborn from What Culture, and these are 10 times WWE directly insulted your intelligence. Number 10. Blaming the referee for the Hell in a Cell 2019 finish. It may have been beaten to death as much as the Fiend himself on that fateful evening, but WWE's attempt to wriggle free from the post-Hell in a Cell 2019 criticism they received bordered on pathetic. Ending the Cell main event by unclear stoppage for the second year in a row, WWE irreversibly damaged the men in the match, but absurdly aimed to salvage the aura of champion and challenger by throwing the referee under the bus days later. It was his decision, see, not a booking one. Piss off. The fire hadn't stopped blazing days removed from the event, but this idiotic announcement poured petrol on it all the same. All to pass a buck. And speaking of which, number 9, blaming Baron Corbin for a ratings collapse. Monday Night Raw's ratings have dipped year on year for the majority of the 2010s, but WWE selected to pit one of their most recent catastrophic slides on a character that needed anything but a browbeating. Constable Baron Corbin, as Raw authority figure, was allegedly the reason for 2018's decline, even though, and this can't be stressed enough, he wasn't responsible for his own actions because, and I hope you're sitting down for this, wrestling isn't real! It's predetermined and pre-written, and Corbin was written to be an arsehole, a trolling flop of a leader, and a dull pro wrestler during his months performing as the man running the brand. Then, when this wrestling product failed, the company sent babyfaces out to blame his omnipresence as if he had any bloody say on the matter. Worse still, the McMahon family, the gang making this bad choice every single week, were positioned as the babyface show saviors when they opened the December 17th Raw by saying that the days of the oppressive authority figure were over. Bunch of bastards. Number 8. Bobby's sisters. Bobby Lashley has been f***ed so many times by WWE that it's little wonder that he went looking for a steady relationship with Lana to take himself off the market. Never was this more apparent than in a segment that somehow dated as it was taking place, and was bad enough that it became immediately identifiable by its own accursed moniker. Bobby's sisters. The skit, if it can be called that, saw Sami Zayn interview 3 men in drag pretending to be Lashley's siblings as bored fans booed if they could be asked. Lashley battered the faux sisters and Zayn himself to end it, but as per wrestling's fundamental rule, wasn't any more over for taking out easy targets. Quite the opposite, in fact. All of this was the opposite of over. Number 7. The birth of the new generation. Designed almost entirely to bury Hulk Hogan ahead of his impending move to WCW, the roots of the movement were dripping in spite, particularly during a King of the Ring 1994 pay-per-view that served as the launch pad for the brand new movement. On an event with so much of the potential they were promising, the company elected to allow ancient and uninformed ex-footballer Art Sodding Donovan to soundtrack it on commentary with his endless inanities, and Rowdy Roddy Piper and Jerry Lawler to work a weathered comedy main event. Telling everybody one thing and showing the other, this was less hypocritical than it was just plain stupid. Then again, it was marginally more admirable than the broadside they fired 18 months later. Number 6. Billionaire Ted's WRASSLIN War Room. The infamous series of skits pitching Ted Turner, Hulk Hogan, Randy Savage, and Mean Gene Okerlund as carny fossils were designed to remind WWE fans that they were watching the right show by undermining things happening on the other side. Simply watching that other side would have done it. A babyface Hulk Hogan was every bit as cheesy as McMahon's parody, but the mere acknowledgement of their existence reminded viewers that they were a pressing concern. This was the first of many mini backfires. It was missing the mark from the off and never found it. Within a year of the segment's airing, Ted Turner's juggernaut promotion had made them look even more foolish than when they'd initially aired. Number 5. Braun Strowman's toy car. 2019's stupid WrestleMania Braun Strowman storyline saw him feuding with Saturday Night Live cast members Colin Jost and Michael Che over, well, not a great deal. And that was Titus's year to win the Andre the Giant trophy, you bastards! But one of the few highlights saw the monster among men do one of the things he does best and smash the bejesus out of a vehicle just because it looks funny. The luxurious sports car Strowman destroyed had been a gift, see, an effort from the cocky pair to try and get their new rival to forgive them rather than batter the crap out of them at the grandest stage. Only, it wasn't really. WWE just had a toy to sell. As slick as it was cynical, it was far too sharp a reminder of the core values of the organization beyond anything that could be classified as creative. It's not the only time Strowman's been dragged through one of these either. Number 4. The Greatest Royal Rumble. Fresh off of winning the Tag Team Championships with a 10-year-old in his stupid 2018 WrestleMania storyline, Braun Strowman was lifting another title he'd only hold for a few hours in Saudi Arabia after winning WWE's Greatest Royal Rumble. It provided the closing visual from one of the most uncomfortable WWE viewing experiences of all time. And I'm not talking about Titus World Slide. This was naked, paid-for propaganda, and it was only the beginning. The company signed a 10-year deal with the country's sports authority as part of their use of major live events to reframe the world's view of a nation not exactly famed for its liberal arts. WWE became part of that thanks to an alleged $50 million per show. Burying their heads even during the controversy around murdered journalist Jamal Khashoggi around the time of their 2018 Crown Jewel event, headlined by a match that saw Shawn Michaels bought out of a 9-year retirement and Kane's mask and wig fall off. The ugliness might be mentioned ad infinitum, but that only speaks to how precisely ugly it really is. Number 3. Once in a lifetime. Oh, WWE, those cheeky bastards, used their biggest annual stipulation and biggest title reign in years to ensure that this looked as if it happened organically rather than a result of years of careful planning. Careful planning made worse by how shamelessly they chose to sell the WrestleMania 28 encounter as once in a lifetime, from inception through to eventual execution. Gifted a full year to build the match thanks to the unique layout of the John Cena Rock program, their sales pitch was smart enough. 12 months to craft some memories that will last a lifetime. Or, as it turned out, another 12 months. Rock and Cena's broadly enjoyable encounter didn't really need the rematch, but things had been set in motion 2 years before that anyway. The need for the leveler between the two, that was also presented as The Rock passing the torch given to him by Hulk Hogan to the champ, resulted in The Great One terminating CM Punk's iconic WWE Championship reign and John Cena shoveling the last mound of dirt on Ryback's faltering main event run all at the same time. In the cold light of reflection several years on, this lack of future-proofing then still haunts the starless product of the now. Ah well, welcome back, Phil. Number 2, the invisible camera. The unseen cameras of the backstage area have been fixtures on Raw and SmackDown for over 20 years now, and they still really shouldn't be. Picking at this loose thread unravels a sizable portion of everything that happens on Monday Night Raw. And that's the sort of scrutiny the show simply couldn't absorb. It's a shame too, because when the company actually considers how to involve cameramen backstage, the end product is better for it. Ahead of his retirement match against Triple H at WrestleMania, Batista violently bullied a camera operator to come with him as he revealed the brutal beating he dished out to Ric Flair. Just over 20 years earlier, Diesel, hang on a second, I knew Hamflet wrote this list, dragged one of the guys filming a match all the way to the back so he could make sure somebody caught him obliterating The Undertaker's casket with an axe. WWE has two choices. Either find ways to make segments make sense, or simply have less things happen there. For all the insufferable praise AEW has received for every little thing, this could be a huge industry-wide change forced through if they continue to highlight the silliness of this scene. Number 1. The Owen Hart voice. When Owen Hart tragically passed away at Over the Edge 1999, Jim Ross provided calm counsel in the face of unthinkable and desperate heartbreak. It was a thankless task he still performed with the deft skill and aplomb that solidified his reputation as the greatest announcer in the history of the industry. And then WWE monetized it. Ross and partner Jerry Lawler were understandably somber in tone and timbre for the rest of the evening, but the gravitas that came inbuilt with that grieving was then ghoulishly mined for storyline heft. Chyna's neck injury angle against the right to censor was the first obvious and unpleasant rolling out of it, with the company relying on it so often in the years that followed that it had lost all meaning like everything else. Years after that, the impact of those voices had been reduced to such an extent that silence was required instead. A man died and WWE normalized the reaction. This was them operating at their dark worst and capitalist best. And that's our list. Did we miss any out? Let us know in the comment section below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And subscribe to What Culture Wrestling on either iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts from for daily wrestling podcasts. Plus, you can check out more recent videos here. Thanks for watching. I've been Adam from What Culture, and I'll see you soon.